Well, it's time. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another anime review. I finished another anime, so I review it. That's how it works. So I'm going through my backlog of animes that I wanted to watch last year, but I didn't end up watching, and this was the next one, which is You Are Miss Servant. So the backstory for this anime is that it follows a high schooler, Hitoyoshi Yokoya, and one day he wakes up, doorbell rings, and there is a girl in a maid's outfit, and she wants to work for him. However, there's a mystery behind this mysterious maid. She's actually an assassin. Yep. And that's how the story goes. He hires an assassin as a maid, and pretty much it ends with, him trying to teach her how to be more normal, more like a regular person, while trying to break her out of her assassin tendencies and all that type of stuff. It's real fun, I gotta say. So kicking it off just by story, the premise alone I think is awesome, right? An assassin being a maid, that's fun. I like that. But when we get more into the story of the characters, we get a lot there. So Hitoyoshi, he as a protagonist he's actually pretty good. He's not as dense like other anime protagonists. Like, he recognizes feelings and stuff like that. But the reason that they give for why he doesn't act on, his feelings, or why he doesn't say what he really means to people, there is a reason for that. And I think it's really, really good how they dealt with that. He has to deal with the whole thing where he's like, I've got an assassin as a maid thing, which is fun. But yeah, when we go more into his story, into his family, into who he is as a person, that's fun too, right? Like he has a nightmare about his mother all the time. His relationship with his father is pretty strained. He's got a great relationship with his sister, who we'll get to. But yeah, he's real good. But the big amount of character comes from our Miss Servant, who is dubbed Yuki. And she... Oh boy, I was not expecting her backstory to be what it was. It's a lot darker than I freaking thought it would be. So Yuki was part of like a big assassins guild. She was one of the greatest assassins of the guild, like one of the top ones. But she left and became a maid. And it's implied that she was referred to come here, right? Like, she was like kind of said like, hey, you go over here to the Yokoya family and they'll take care of you, type of thing, which has not fully been explored in the anime. I'm sure in the manga they've probably talked about it, but in the anime we do not get a full revelation to that. But Yuki has been beaten down in her life. She's just been trained to be a killer, like, her whole life. And I love how it's portrayed in her eyes. Her eyes at the beginning are dead. There is nothing in them. She is like stoic, dead, nothing. And then as it goes along and she starts to, live more like a person, she starts to find joy in things. And you can see her eyes start to get more lively, which I like that. And there's the thing where she struggles to conform to normality. That's fun. Like, she always carries knives with her, and they're like, do you need knives? And she's like, of course. Of course you need knives, right? Like, stuff like that. And they do the thing where it's like, like, her assassin stuff helps her in her maid duties, right? Like, when she has to cook, she can chop things up super quick because she's an assassin. She can get to hard to reach places because her training and all that type of stuff. So that's fun. They have a lot of that. But my god, man, like, a lot of the character work done with Yuki is really good. Like, that's where a lot of this stuff shines. Of course, there's the funny rom-com stuff that they do eventually with Yuki and Hitoyoshi, which don't explain the age gap. How old Yuki is to Hitoyoshi, because I assume, based on how she looks, she's like in her early 20s, mid 20s. Hitoyoshi is like, what, 15, 16? So there is an age gap there, but they don't touch on it too much, right? So it's not that big of a problem, but I'm assuming there is a big age gap there. If people know how old she is, let me know. But yeah, I love Yuki as a character, and it's the thing where he's like, oh, you want her to be happy, right? You want her to just like put all the assassin stuff behind you and just be happy. It's real good. I really love Yuki as a character. She is easily the heart and soul and the backbone of this story, but like hands down, right? I mean, she's the cover name, she's the title character, right? But again, I don't want to diss on the other characters and the work they do with them, because there's a good character work with them as well, especially with Hitoyoshi later on when we start to delve into his psyche. But Yuki is the backbone, right? There is Riko, who is Hitayoshi's sister. She is like the typical little sister, right? She's outgoing, like, ball of energy, all that type of stuff. She immediately gravitates to Yuki because Yuki is beautiful and she likes beautiful girls, beautiful women, right? She aspires to be like them. So yeah, Riko is just a little ball of sunshine who causes mischief when the more rom-commy aspects come out to play, right? Like she'll advise Yuki on what to wear to get her brother to notice her and stuff like that, right? Or she'll be like, hey, there's a festival, we should all go together, with, nefarious ploys in her head. So yeah, that is Riko. There is Grace, who is an assassin as well. She's an assassin like Yuki, though she's more an informant than an assassin, because she can't really match Yuki when it comes to like combat skills. She's more like info based. And Grace initially wanted to defeat Yuki to, raise her value and, hopefully get paid more so then she can finally go live on an island and be super rich like she always wanted. But that doesn't go her way. And Grace ends up just being part of the school. Like she initially is part of the school, infiltrated it as a nurse. Then she infiltrates the school as the gym teacher just to like, keep an eye on Yuki and all that stuff. And there's a lot of fun with Grace, especially with her teasing of Hitoyoshi, which then gets Yuki jealous. And then I would say that's your main cast right there. That is the main cast. So this story it's a lot of fun. I gotta say, they do a good job as well of balancing like the more serious aspects especially when they get to Yuki's trauma and all that type of stuff. And they handle some of her trauma in more comedic ways, but it's like when you really think about it, you're like, oh, this is kind of depressing and sad. But there's a lot of really fun stuff in this. This isn't, again, gonna break the anime industry with how revolutionary it is, but it's fun. Like, it's just a nice fun time. I easily blowed through all the episodes of the series. But speaking of the episodes, I gotta say, the ending sucks. The ending absolutely sucks, and with no official announcement of a season 2, that does dampen this, because again, it's how you leave them, folks. You can have a really strong series, but if the ending sucks, that dampens it, right? And the ending for this show sucks. It really does suck. It's not a good ending. I mean, it wouldn't incentivize you to go read the manga like I am. I'm incentivized now to go read the manga, find out the rest of it, but it's like, you're gonna leave it like that? That's a crappy way to end. Like, the ending really does suck, and I think that's the bad thing, right? The ending dampens this. So there's that, and the opening is way too weird for what this show is. Like, when you watch the opening, you're like, oh, what type of show am I getting myself into? And then you watch it, and it's just a funny rom-com, and I'm like, well, this is nowhere near what I thought it was gonna be. Like, the opening is weird. The ending isn't. The ending fits the show, but the opening is way out of place. It's way out of place. But yeah. So with that is You Are Miss Servant. It's fun. I give it a 7 out of 10. I might have given it 7.5, but the ending kind of dampens it, so it gets a 7 out of 10. But I would recommend it. Yeah, but the ending. Okay, I don't know if I can recommend it because again, the ending just sucks so bad. It's a crappy ending. So if you want to watch it, you're gonna have a good time, right? You will not have a bad time with this. You're gonna have a good time. But be wary of that ending, because that ending just happens and you're like, what? That's it? Yeah. But there we go. That is your Miss Servant review. Let me know what you thought of the show if you've seen it in the comments down below. And if you haven't seen it, well, you have my warning. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.